Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the country you plan to move to, or perhaps retire in, has just banned you. In 2025, this became a harsh reality for many British citizens as a wave of unexpected restrictions swept across the globe. 10 of the world's most sought-after destinations suddenly closed their doors to Britons, introducing new laws, mass visa rejections. Now, they're being shown the door, sometimes with just weeks to pack. But what triggered this sudden hostility? The shift is not just about politics, it's about long-standing grievances, shifting global power, and nations demanding a different future. Across Asia, Europe, and the Americas, the message is the same. This is no longer your home. Here's a breakdown of the 10 countries that have turned their backs on British immigrants. 10. Spain. In February 2025, Spain imposed strict changes to visa requirements for British nationals. Retirees and remote workers were especially affected, facing higher income thresholds to qualify for long-term visas. Additionally, regions like Valencia and Andalusia require proof of local health insurance and housing ownership, making relocation unaffordable for many. Thousands of British residents were also subjected to random checks to ensure they met the new criteria, threatening their residency status. 9. Portugal ended its popular Golden Visa program in March 2025, halting the fast-track residency route through property investment. British nationals, who had invested heavily in Portuguese real estate, now face stricter pathways to residency, such as starting a business or investing in research. Digital and nomad visa rules also tighten, with increased income requirements and extensive background checks. 8. United Arab Emirates. In April 2025, the UAE introduced the Emiratization Priority Act, which prioritized hiring Emirati citizens over foreign workers. British professionals, once highly sought in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, were hit hardest by the 35% drop in work permits for Britons. Even freelance visas became more difficult to obtain as renewal standards became stricter. 7. Germany. Germany's updated Skilled Immigration Act in February 2025 made it more difficult for British nationals to move there for work. Under the new rules, Brits must secure a formal job offer before applying for a visa and prove proficiency in the German language. Additionally, British applicants are now ranked lower than EU nationals, making it harder to secure employment in Germany. 6. New Zealand. New Zealand's overhaul of its points-based immigration system in March 2025 made it significantly harder for British citizens to qualify for skilled migrant visas. The new rules increased the required points and introduced priority categories that favored applicants from the Pacific Islands and Southeast Asia. 5. Ireland. In January 2025, Ireland introduced new immigration controls that ended the automatic right for British citizens to live and work in the country. Previously, Brits could move freely under the Common Travel Area Agreement, but now they must apply for work permits or residency. This change was partly in response to post-Brexit regulatory issues and pressure from the EU to harmonize rules. 4th, Singapore. In February 2025, Singapore raised the salary thresholds for employment pass applicants, which heavily affected mid-level British workers. The government also implemented stricter checks to ensure companies first try to hire locals before offering jobs to foreigners. For many British professionals, this marked the end of easy entry into Singapore's thriving job market. 3rd, India. In April 2025, India introduced new visa rules for British nationals, requiring applicants to prove long-term financial stability and demonstrate cultural integration. This policy, aimed at improving reciprocity with the UK, also applies to students who now face higher financial requirements to study in India. 2nd, United States. In May 2025, the U.S. reclassified the UK as a Tier 2 risk management country, resulting in significantly tougher visa conditions for British nationals. Applicants now face more intense security screenings, detailed employment histories, and increased scrutiny on business investments. The popular E2 investor visa was also suspended, halting many entrepreneurial ambitions. 1. Australia. Australia's immigration policies shifted dramatically in 2025, with the government introducing stricter health and financial criteria for British nationals applying for work and residency visas. New rules for students, retirees, and business investors placed tougher requirements on visa holders. In 2025, the once easy path for British expats is no longer guaranteed. These countries are demanding more than just a familiar accent. They want proof of commitment, financial stability, and cultural integration.